to another episode of Head Chopperz here with my co-host Ilphil the Barber and Kino
What's up?
the
What's
Barber.
up, everybody?
This gentleman sitting right next to Phil is Mr. Tyrik Jackson.
Legend.
We got him in the building.
Legend.
Chopperz, man. We really appreciate you for this and sitting down here with us, man. I was just talking to you and letting you know a lot of people don't know about this, but those who've been following Tyrik for a long time, man, I've seen you from the Prince days. And that's Barrrbers Brothers, man. A lot of people don't know about Down South competition. That's a competition that happens in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. And it's a different type of competition.
You used to throw those competitions, or you attended?
I was a participant in it. I competed for $25,000.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
Oh, man.
If you see that the way that he did it and the way that he started off and everything he interpreted throughout the he was an actor, man. He was really like a Oscar man.
It's like a Broadway show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to put music, dance,
The choreography, everything.
So it was a well thought out, We planned it. We took about 6 weeks, 3 days a week for 3 hours every day to practice. But the plan happened months prior to that.
Yes.
There's a lot that goes involved. That's how the battles used to be. So you're not sitting around watching somebody do a fade.
Yeah.
You actually saw a performance. You got judged on the haircut prior to, and then you had to complete the haircut on stage.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
It's not your normal barber battle.
15 minutes, 3 haircuts. It's crazy.
And this was in Atlanta, Georgia.
If you see what he does stylist work. There's a lot of
So
stuff
it's just
involved.
not one haircut, it's
not-
multiple
So,
adding up,
you
leading up
you
to
see
it.
what Hair Gazito's doing right now with the colors and the neon colors.
Yeah, yep.
I did that in 2006.
Yep.
So that's to me,
Damn.
when I saw it, I was like, okay, they're bringing it back. But
That
it
was
like
13 years ago, man.
Yeah. So you
So-
can check it out if you guys are watching. Just look up Tyrik Jackson on YouTube. It is on there. The whole entire battle's on there,
It is on
and they'll
there,
get an idea to see what that looks
Okay.
like.
I go back to it, man, because I pick.
Brian's always throwing stuff on. We work at the same shop, and every time if he's sitting in the chair, he's looking at something on TV. Whether it'll be like, if it's Tuesdays, we're logged in. We have you talking. Tuesday mornings, Kino will tag us and something, we'll open it up. But if not, he always puts
So
something
you guys
on.
stream my live Tyrik Talk Tuesday on the shop.
Yes, it'll be, yes,
awesome.
yeah.
Put it right on
So,
YouTube.
Dope.
It's good to go.
So-
But, like he was saying, like I'm always throwing on stuff, but it's just like I always say, I've been in this 27 years, Tyrik, and let me tell you, 27 years, I'm still learning to this day.
every
I'm
day,
learning
Yo,
every
Sean,
single
yeah.
day.
Ya tú sabes. Ya tú sabes. So then I also, from there, I seen you started doing educational videos. So it's from your barber academy, I believe, and you're feeding the world free knowledge. What influenced you to do that and share that knowledge to everyone out there?
So there's a few things. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a teacher because my art teacher pulled the best out of me.
Okay.
Like, I was an artist and I didn't know I thought I could draw, but my art teacher pulled something out of me that I was like, whoa. And the way he did it, I actually did a live and I pulled I still have the actual artwork from my first day in that class and 3 weeks later. And just the transformation that took place in just a short amount of time.
3 weeks.
It inspired me to want to teach. That was one real big thing. But when I wanted to cut hair, there was no schools to go to.
Okay.
So I did an apprenticeship as a barber. Then I went to cosmetology so I can get a strong foundation because I knew that just what I was learning in the shop wasn't enough to be successful in the field. In doing that, I saw that there was a big need because I was managing people. As I'm managing people, I'm running into the same headache every time we hire somebody, same headache after headache after headache, and everybody thinking they're their own boss and the shop not being run very well. And so he gave me a management position. And I said, I'm going to open up my shop one day. I'm going to open up a school. But while I was in school, I said one day I'm going to be a teacher and I'm going to have a school. Like that, I have the newspaper article of that. It was just an idea. But I believe that if I can create an opportunity, it would help the people like myself who needed a way to get education for barbering. And I love barbering way more, but I'm so grateful for my cosmetology background. Okay, just because the fundamental things that I learned through it. So to get to the meat of what you're asking me, all of you have worked in shops, you either owned or worked somewhere. You're hiring the same type of people, the same mindset of people. And so my Tyrik Talk Tuesdays, it actually started because we do a motivational quote every morning. Every morning for 10, 15 minutes, motivational quote. So while we were doing it one Tuesday morning, Instagram maybe 3 weeks prior to was like live. They now had live capability.
Yeah.
And she said, you should go live. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like if I do that, I'm gonna have to do it all the time.
Exactly.
And so we just keep our motivational quote. She said, people need to hear what you're talking about right now.
Thank you, IG Live. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, IG Live.
Great add to the platform.
So
man.
her name was Elena Cook. She said, we're going to call it Tyrik Talk Tuesday. And I was like, no. Why don't we just name it like Conversations at Premiere or something like that? And she's like, no, you're talking. It's Tuesday. We're going to call it Tyrik Talk Tuesday. And I'm like, I don't want it to be about me. And she said, I don't care if you want it to be about you. It's what you're saying that people need to hear. So I was like, whatever. I'm not going to argue with this lady. We went live.
Yeah.
We went live. 12 people jumped on. What was more important was the DMs I got afterwards, within them 24 hours.
Wait, can I jump in real quick? That's important. You said how many people jumped on?
12.
12 people.
Yeah, it's 12 people.
And that was the first day that you started
The very
that
first
type.
day I did my live.
So look at the difference now. Like 12 people got you even more motivated. Now look how many people talk.
You
Yeah,
gotta be
yes.
consistent. So,
You know,
so
that might take some people down. Some might be like, wow, 12 people got on, 300 people watched,
it's a waste
20
of my
people
time,
watched.
I'm done.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I could see like people getting like discouraged on
the numbers
having
or
a
the
number.
views.
Yeah,
So
just,
let me to anyone who wants to go live, what may help you with that is to put a piece of tape over your phone and hide the number. Just hide the number. Don't focus on the number.
On the number.
Focus on what you're doing.
Oh,
And
that's
so
excellent
I
idea.
don't look at my phone. At first, a student was holding my phone while I was live.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking. That's how I started. I had
Yes,
12
I remember
people.
That. I remember.
Yeah.
It's actually he's one of your barbers now.
Yeah, he
huh?
is, Deshaun. Yeah. So it was Angel Lynn. She used to hold the phone, and then Deshaun was holding the phone, and then Elena was holding the phone. She's the one who originally told me to do it. And so the next Tuesday came, but let me get back to what I was saying. I had 12 viewers, but more importantly, it was the direct messages that I got within those 24 hours. Wow, I really needed to hear that today. That was really important. Thank you for sharing that. How often do you do this? And I went back to school and I showed it to Elena and I said, look what happened. She said, good, we're gonna do it next Tuesday, right? It's gonna be Tyrik Talk Tuesday. I said, no, we're not gonna call it Tyrik Talk Tuesday. So on Monday, she said, I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, what's up with tomorrow? She goes, Tyrik Talk Tuesday. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so that's really how it started. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it, whatever. And I kept doing it. She ended up dying a few months later.
oh
Yeah,
man.
she did. But you know what? The legacy lives on.
How old was this lady?
She was in her 50s. She was a
Okay.
barber student. She was a career student. She was solid. She had an aneurysm, is what happened, and went into a coma. But besides that, her spirit lived on. What she wanted to see happen is happening. You guys have been inspired by it. You're sharing it. The people, even your clients, are probably enjoying it. Yeah.
You know what? Now your Tyrik Talk Tuesdays is,
For the clients, right?
no, it has a lot more meaning to me now.
Yeah. Awesome.
That you told me the story. You know, like
Oh.
even more now. Like
Now you know. Where
now
it
I
came
know the
from.
history of
Yeah.
where it came from, and it's like,
Yeah. Sometimes it's
Hey.
stuff that you say and also educate the client that I have in my chair. Whether it's with products, whether it's
True, I do the same thing, too.
He wants, or something that goes with the features of his face or whatever it is. It's good to educate the client as well. That's 100%. I believe in that.
Thank you.
And you would inspire that a
Definitely
long time
do.
ago. From watching you from the first day that you started doing this stuff, I'm like, wow, man.
I do the same thing,
I
man.
felt like we needed somebody like yourself in this industry, and the way that you express yourself and the way you say it. It's
You guys done seen me crying all kinds of stuff.
yeah, man. Hey,
All right, which one
Listen.
of y'all was crying today to y'all?
listen.
You was crying?
When people crying, I look in their eyes. I end up crying. So I'll be like, you know, what
So, you know,
half of my arguments end with Tyrik would have said this. Yeah, Tyrik did it. And they're like, oh, okay, all right. If Tyrik did it, then good. Okay.
you know,
All right, you're
it's
right.
interesting because I think a lot of people are trying to be famous.
Definitely.
They're trying to be famous. I'm not. I'm trying to be impactful.
And I love that
No.
because you and Maury Moore are similar to that. Where look at Maury Moore, he's doing a free admission event.
That's what I was telling you this week.
And not a lot of people do that.
Right.
And you're folks that you could send to a barber and I see you there and you say hello, you shake my hand, and it's not a person that shakes my hand and just walks away. You actually are a person that you're humble, you can talk to. Mark, same thing with him. You can talk to him and you share your knowledge with us, you know? And that's what I like, because I'm not going to say no names here, but I've met people in the past and I've talked to them and I'm like, damn, I support you.
Right.
And then now they want to support you because the way you act, the attitude that you just gave.
I'll ruffle some feathers for you since you don't want to say something.
You just spoke about this. You just spoke about it this week. It was 11 something at night a few days ago. You were speaking about this. I came into work the next day. I said, I watched Tyrik last night, and he was talking about how barbers, like these people are buying your products. Just stop and talk to them. Like these. So it's almost like that. When I was at the CT Barber Expo, I seen a lot of people talking to you, and I was like, I want to meet this guy, man. Like, this is my favorite dude listening to. I need to meet him. But there was so many people. I was like, I don't want to just be in there. I want to meet you. Like, how you doing? Like, I just met you in the hallway. And I was like, hi. I didn't even know what to say because I was like, I looked around like, oh my God, it's just us three right now. Like, all the things I wanted to say, what's up? I couldn't get it out, but I was like, I got it over with. I said, I just met Tyrik. No, but hey, listen, I love my job. I love what I do. I love the barber industry, and I love watching you guys, like Marv, you, and this shit really motivates the shit out of me.
I definitely appreciate it. I think most people are transactional, and so if there's no transaction and they can't gain something from it, then why do it? Where there's a very few people that are personable and relational. I'm a relationship guy. I was social before social media. So it's very easy for me to
definitely am too.
You have a lot of this younger generation, they want to be famous and they think it's cool to be famous and they could care less. It's like, oh yeah, what's up? And then they're on their phone like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, follow me.
Exactly. And that's not the way to go. Have a genuine conversation. You never know that person might be the next phase to your career based off of the relationship. You don't know what they do. We spoke. I didn't know you had a podcast, and right away I was like, let's do it. And then right now is the best time to take advantage of it. We don't have nothing
going on right now.
Let's get it going. Let's get it popping.
That's awesome. Thank you for coming by, man.
The barbershop, and whether you're a barbershop owner or just a barber that represents that barbershop, barbershops are pillars to the community. And the most thing that's very important within barbershops is the relationship with your community. And that's why I say with these guys nowadays, like you said, they just want to be famous. They just want to see numbers on their grams. And just with us two here at Chopperz Radio, numbers is no matter to us.
Nope.
We like to share, bring guys like you on the show who are real and share what we know about the barber industry for so long. Because this is what I want.
Yeah, free 99.
Man, we go to so many other places and do this. Like, we pretty much don't say no. We'll go to New York. We were at Truth the Barber. He was at Truth.
He's at Tribeca Barber School now, but he does a lot of comedy skits.
Comedy skits, but he had us down.
Barber School now. He's at American Barber Institute down in I believe it's 36th and 5th in Manhattan.
In New York, so but he was
great. He's just like you.
Just like you, man. So
I like to meet him.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, he would probably like to meet you too, but
also. You see him doing his thing on Instagram, but he's a guy that also shares his knowledge. He'll take the students within the school and teach them.
He'll grab their hand as they're clipping, and they'll be like, "No, wait, watch." And help guide. Like I seen you do it before too. Like I seen you go to the person.
Transactional. My information is valuable. You got to pay for my time. I'm not saying that that's not true, but what would this conversation have been like if you would have said, hey, Tyrik, we do a little podcast thing over here, and I'm over here at the booth, and it's not, you got to talk to my manager if you want to go ahead and do the podcast, because, you'd have been like, man, what a jerk.
Yeah, probably.
We're sitting around.
That's my response.
I'd have been like, damn, I didn't think Tyrik was like that, so.
Let's have a conversation. I think that my Tyrik Talk Tuesdays has become, it's more like a ministry to me.
It is. It is.
I think I'm talking to people who won't take the time to go into church, and I'm giving them some biblical mindset, right, that's going to help them in their business and in their family.
You're like my priest right now, man, for real.
Go to the pastor and have the pastor say, hey, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that because then pastor don't like me. But I'm just giving perspective and sharing so they can think and look in the mirror and evaluate themselves and say, do I do that? Am I like that? Man, how can I do this better? He gave a few suggestions. And then they go home and they're hitting dinner with their wife and they're like, hey, I was listening to Tyrik Talk Tuesday. Look what he said today. And the wife's like, mm-hmm. And they're like, do I do that? I'm getting these direct messages. Yeah. Thank you, Tyrik, for what you shared, man. I had a conversation with my wife at dinner, blah, blah, blah. I got guys on Instagram that you've seen them. They're popular, doing all kinds of stuff. But they DM me privately and say, because of what you're doing, I opened my first shop. You would have never known. Because you see them cutting, you think they already own a shop. You see them doing their videos. They're like, I opened my first shop because of what you've been sharing. I got a repost page. We were talking about the repost the other day. He said, hey, listen, I continue to share your stuff because of you. I opened my first location. I did this and I did that. But he was a repost page. You know, and it was a long, I had to scroll through this actual.
Oh, to find a page? No, through the conversation.
Like when he sent me the DM, it wasn't just like a little gray bubble. It was a long gray.
Okay.
Thank you for your Tyrik Talk Tuesday. Thank you
he
for
went
what
in.
you're sharing. Yeah, he went all the way in. And so it was just, that's why I continue to do what I'm doing. You know, so I can't even stop. Like
how do you find the time?
We gotta thank you for that. Also, he also educates in financial stuff for barbers. Well.
Yes.
Yep. This is how he gets barbers to open up.
Listen, let me tell you something. I've been audited by the IRS. I done had a lien taken out on my bank account. Like, I've experienced it. You know what I'm saying? So I can help some people get through it if they don't know what it's going to take to do it. The problem is most people want to invest their money in sneakers. They're not trying to invest their money in their future. You know, I like nice stuff too. But for a long time, I sacrificed. Like, I remember one day the bank called me. I got a great relationship with the bank. And they said, Tyrik, I don't know if you know, but the IRS just took $12,000 out of your account. And I was like, which one? I wasn't like, oh my God, I was like, which account did they take it out of? So she told me which account it was, and I was like, all right. Do you know why? They said, I don't know. So I had mail that I received that I didn't check.
Yeah.
I didn't check it. I apparently owed money to them. My accountant, I called them up. I sent them the information.
This is all taxes?
Yeah, it's all taxes. I said, here's a lien on my bank account. They took $12,000. He said, oh, I'll take care of it. Filled out a paper, did what he had to do, had a conversation with them, submitted the paperwork. They returned my money.
Okay.
It wasn't all of it.
Yep.
They returned, I think it was like 9 and some change. Like 9,800 or something like that. So it was close to $10,000. But it wasn't 12.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It wasn't 12. And I learned something through that. And so these are things that I can share because people ain't going to talk about that. They're not going to get up and be like, yeah, the government took my money. No, they're not going to talk about that. They're going, I'm balling out of control and I just went on this trip. And they're not going to tell you that they didn't pay the taxes and that the government came and took it.
Yep, that's true.
You know, so.
They don't want to talk about losses.
Nah.
Nope. They don't want to get too personal. They just want to show what people want to,
what superficial. About it, that would probably help somebody else.
Absolutely.
Have to go through it, and you would be a little bit more alert to what's going on in your life financially. How good is it to have credit?
Credit is an amazing tool. So people say cash is king, right? You've heard that a lot.
Yes.
Credit is power. So you can be the king if you want, but you want
credit,
power, you want to be the king.
forget it.
Right. So managing your cash is good, right? I have barber mentality. I'll go somewhere and I'll start paying with cash. And Eric, who's rocking with me all the time, he's like, "Yo, just use the card." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And my school, we have a school account that I rarely pull that card out for stuff. I'm so used to I have $40, I got $60. It's like put it on the school's account. Like it's part of our business, is what you do. Yep. And so I had to learn to shift that mindset because I was a barber with cash for so long.
Do you keep all your receipts?
Yeah.
Okay,
so what I do now is I use PayPal. Okay. PayPal becomes my receipt book.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what I'm using because I'm doing a lot of business through PayPal. Yeah, absolutely.
I've been doing that with Venmo. I use like my Venmo, which is almost like...
you can't get a working capital loan through Venmo.
Yeah, I don't, but it's like my receipt.
Could you use extra money?
As in...
Could you use extra money? Could you use an
extra No, I could use my money that I have in there.
But could you use an extra 10, 20, 50?
Oh, definitely. Always.
What would you do with it?
I just started my first shop. Mm-hmm. I've been a barber.
Okay.
But 2 months ago...
How much did you put into the business?
About $30,000.
Okay, about $30,000. Could you use another
out of my pocket?
Could you use another 15, 20 grand?
Yes, to help the business, I could. Yeah,
so
definitely.
if you're using PayPal or Square, they have working capital loan.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So you're using Venmo, great, because you ain't trying to turn down no money. You're using.
I've been telling him to use Square.
Listen,
I'm his
Yeah.
So
People told me to get credit cards from
No,
Home
listen,
Depot,
bro,
and I
one
didn't.
right here.
I just kept going in.
You asked me the question: is credit good? Yeah, I'm about to give you some game right now for free 99.
$3.99.
This is my card, PayPal
Okay.
card, right? So what I do is all my transactions come through PayPal, all of them.
I didn't even know PayPal had a card.
Yeah, I got a PayPal.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Listen, all of my transactions, even my barbers, I have a small percentage of them on purpose that pay the chair rent. What's that right there? What's that say?
Chair rent.
Chair rent, $200. Look, and then what we got going on? Payments, $5 fees, haircut prices, $5 fee. Look at all them $5 fees. All those transactions come through PayPal. So when my computer breaks down, I can go right on my phone,
Your
and
phone
go
and
working
check,
capital
yep.
loan, and they give me money for making money. If you go to a bank, they're gonna say, "No, you're a barber. We don't trust your business."
That's what they said to me.
Okay, I know.
So I had to come out of pocket so much.
Right.
That
you
I
had
was-
to come out 30 grand.
And then I ran out of money, and I was working all day from like 7 to 10 at night. Whatever I made, honestly, it felt good because I know I busted my butt off. But
But if you could have done it easier and still bust your butt.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I
If
could
you
have.
begin to run those transactions through PayPal, you need 200 transactions. I'm only going to speak to PayPal.
Yep.
200 transactions or $20,000 in revenue, right? In
Yep.
a year. If you do that within that year, you can now you're able to apply for a working capital loan. That working capital loan is money that you. And here's the best part: you don't pay a monthly payment on that loan.
How do you pay? Yearly?
That's a good question. You listening? Listen, how you pay that is you buy the loan up front. So let's just say you're getting $1,000 loan. It's very simple. You buy the loan for $50. If you're getting a $16,000, you buy it for $400.
Oh, so there's no interest after? I buy it, and then I just pay that back after?
So what they do is, here's what they do. You've been making money.
PayPal.
Right? You've been making money. We're talking about hypothetically you. You seen I've been making money. You
I
saw
see
on
that
my phone.
$5
See,
transaction.
y'all can't see that, but what you see on my phone?
5, 5, 5.
Chair rent.
200, 300, 5, 5, 150, 5, 5.
Y'all might like Instagram notifications, but I like payment notifications.
No, definitely. I'd rather have those. Yeah. Can you like those? Can you like?
In my head, I'd be like, oh, there's another one. I can't double tap on
It's
it.
a little heart. So I'm like, yeah.
Hey, what do I say when I get when somebody pays me with Venmo? I hear the ching ching.
Right.
I'm like, I love that sound. You know, like so.
But if you was through PayPal, you're earning money. They see how much money you're earning. You buy the loan. So if you get a $16,000 loan, let's just hypothetical.
Okay.
And you got to pay $400. It's $16,400 is what you're getting because they're taking it from you. You bought it up front.
All right.
Okay. And now all you're doing is every time you get a cha-ching, they take a small percentage out that you choose. 10%, 20%, or 30%. So
Okay.
every time someone pays you chair rent or someone pays you a haircut or any type of service or a $5 deposit for an appointment, that's a whole nother conversation. That deposit, they take a small percentage to pay back your working capital loan from the money that you borrowed. Now let's get back to this because you asked a question about taxes. We talked about it.
Yep.
Imagine you work all year long. You take a working capital loan out in December because you know January is coming, so you can pay your taxes back. And then guess who pays your taxes back?
The people, because of all the money.
Say that
The people.
Who does?
All the people that are sending you the money, be getting all the. Man, that's smart.
You see what I'm saying? So this is a way.
Ching, ching, ching. So how do I go about this though? Like, do I? That's what he said. We gotta work on it. We gotta work on the sound effects. Coming soon. Yeah. So, how do I get in contact to PayPal? Like, off my phone or?
Download PayPal.
Yep.
There's a couple different apps. There's PayPal here, where you take payments in the shop. There's
Okay.
also PayPal, which is basically your bank.
Yep.
It's your profile. It's what you do. Your transactions going out. What you got coming in. You're gonna have to get people to think differently on how they're gonna do it. Now, one of the big things I have is $5 fees. If you want to book an appointment with me, it's a $5 fee.
Does that go towards their haircut?
No, for what?
No. See, I was thinking about
do you
doing
buy
that.
movie
But
tickets?
yeah.
What movie you like? What's the latest movie you want to see? You
I'm
been
about to
seeing
go.
Lion King, didn't you?
Yeah, I did,
Okay,
man.
okay,
I have a
okay.
4-year-old daughter.
Don't lie. You didn't go for her. You went for you.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry. I swear.
All adults went to go see The Lion King.
We did.
Because we grew up watching The Lion King as a cartoon. Let's be real.
Yes.
Did you buy tickets on Fandango?
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
And so what happened? How much is each ticket?
The ticket was like $8.95.
Was there a convenience?
Yes, there was.
What was the
And my wife
convenience
hates. It was $1 too.
Okay.
I think $1, right?
I got it for
$1.50.
free.
How
Did
much
you?
is it? It's $3 convenience fee for Fandango if you buy a ticket.
Okay.
So you pay, how many people you took?
It's 3 of us, my wife and my daughter.
$9 in convenience fee to buy a ticket to a movie that you wanted to watch.
And that doesn't go towards my ticket.
Boom on.
Ooh.
It's the same thing, bro. If you want to sit in my chair, for you to sit on your toilet and not annoy me while I'm cutting somebody's hair,
Yes.
I wish you guys could see my face right now. Like it's like
and you can charge them the same
that's crazy.
service fee.
These are things I don't think about.
I'm not trying to rob nobody.
No, I just
I
understood.
got another question with dealing with the issue. The question is, all right, so most barbers have bad credit.
Mm-hmm.
Bad credit. They ruin their credit with credit cards, all this stuff.
Mine's his ass.
How is a way for them to
I think
help
a lot of them don't have credit,
don't have or bad credit?
and then when they do get a little bit of credit, they're stupid with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are they able to establish their credit account?
They buy sneakers, man.
So there's a right.
Well,
buy
it's not
sneakers.
buying
They buy
sneakers.
sneakers, man.
There's a few things you can do. Find someone if you can't do it and you just don't have the brain power or the skill or the organization to get it done. My recommendation is you hire someone who can help you with your credit. Okay? Let them go and do a repair. They're gonna do the same thing I'm about to tell you. They're gonna fill out a letter.
Why don't you do this?
They're gonna. Well, I have people that do it. I
Okay.
have relationships with people that do it. So I don't do it because I don't have the time to do that. I'm not a credit
Like
guy.
a Tyrik Jackson.
Credit class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're doing one in Bronner. I'm moderating one next weekend in Bronner. And so Effects is going to be talking about how he was able to establish credit with not having any credit. You know, and his story on how he wasn't able to get any credit, which is phenomenal, and how he's been able to transition, refinance his house, buy a brand new 2019 car, and so forth and so on. Travel across the world, like just stuff that's been going on because of that. But he didn't have it before, right? He didn't know. He wasn't experienced in it. Then you have some credit repair people who are going to be there. I'm going to share my experience that I didn't have anyone to go to. I had to learn it the hard way.
Okay.
Some of the grassroots beginning stages I've done, and then we got Credit Carl who's going to be coming in, and he's a credit
Credit
specialist.
Carl.
Credit Carl. You check him out on Instagram. He's phenomenal. He gives out free gems all the time. But what they're going to do is this. They're going to they're going to pull your credit report, and anything that you want to dispute, they're going to send a letter to.
Okay.
If you don't get a response in 30 days from that, you can do this yourself. But if you can't do it, pay somebody to do it. It's worth it. Okay. They'll dispute whatever's in there. If they don't respond within 30 days, it gets wiped out.
Oh.
So that's number one, right? Let's get that out the way. You didn't respond fast enough, so that gets wiped out. Once stuff gets wiped out, now what can you do to increase? Because now your points go up. Exactly. Now your numbers are going up. So now you're in a better position. So it's about leveraging credit. Sometimes paying one thing off with this and using this or asking for a bigger limit. But you want to make sure you keep everything. If you do have a credit card and you are utilizing credit, make sure that you keep everything at 30% or lower. You don't want to be more than 30%. So what that means for some of you, simple math.
The APR, whatever it is.
If you have a $1,000 credit card spending limit, you don't want the card to spend more than $300.
Okay.
That's 30%. Okay. So you spend $300, you buy something,
you pay
it, right? You keep it at that. You want to have it. You want to show that you're using it, because if you're using it, they give you more.
Yeah.
If you just have a good credit card, you got a $10,000 limit, and you ain't spending it, they're not giving you nothing. They're not making money off of you.
Off of you, yeah.
Right.
So they're not
So you want to utilize it and use something that you're paying residually. They want to see that you're paying something. And so those are just a few tips for people who need to either repair their credit
tips.
or just to get started with something. for a lot of people, you can go to your local bank and apply for a credit card, right? It depends on what you're eligible for. Some can be secure, some can be unsecured. But you can go get a credit card. Don't ever ask for more money than you have. So if you got $3,000 in the bank, ask for a $500 credit card. Okay? You got to keep it below 30%. Work it, pay it back, use it, pay stuff off, do what you got to do, get gas, treat it like a debit card, and then in a year, you got good credit with them and say, hey, I want to boost my limit up. Can I go up to $2,000? Now you got more money in the bank. Banks, you don't get money when you don't have money. But that's when people want money, when they don't have it.
And that's how people get in the gym. They say they get $1,000 credit card, just, $1,000, but your job is only paying you $300-$400. And you still got rent, groceries, your car that you don't have. Then you can't pay, and you get in trouble. You fall in that.
That's stupid.
Definitely.
I mean, they do that every week. The sneakers are getting ready to drop this weekend. I gotta cut 10 heads because the sneakers are about to drop. But I gotta pay my chair rent, and then they go get the sneakers, and then they late on the chair, and then they're like, "Yo, it was slow this week." No, you woke up late. And you didn't come in, but you got.
You didn't grind enough, yeah, definitely.
I'm glad I've never been a sneaker guy because I never understood that.
I am and I was.
Price drop, then I go get them.
That's what we were just talking about too. I see, I like them, but I'll wait till they drop or something, and Now I have a question. Okay, so I usually ask this to everybody. I have two questions, but one of them is, what is the funniest or the craziest thing that's happened to you at the barbershop? I have to ask him. The craziest moment. Like Sam Flint, barberologist, he told us his story, right? And he had a few, but one of his clients, I'm just gonna give you an example so you could, a client came in and one of his barbers were cutting hair, and the kid came in the chair, and the guy was like, okay, hey, what's your name? Danny. All right, Danny, what do you want? He said, a number 26. So the guy goes, all right, where do you want it? And he was like,
so number 26 was on the board, right?
Yeah, so the guy did the 26 week and was like, hey, how you? He goes, no, I wanted the number 26. So the mom was like, you had 6. And then the mom was like, he doesn't even play sports.
Right.
So she was like, what are we going to do with the 26? So we were dying laughing, and he was like, that just recently happened. So
man, 27 years, man. It's really hard to talk about one
moment.
Yeah, I have a moment like that.
You have a lot of moments.
Yeah, but I had a barber. His name was Doug. This guy was a comedian, like for real. But he didn't try to be funny. He was just funny.
Yeah.
And
we gotta hear these stories.
Who's that? Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. We had amazing stories with Jeff to tell. Jeff was hilarious. Jeff was awesome. Jeff Gumprint. But Doug, when women will come in the shop, and I would tell them, hey, listen, you can't be hitting all these girls that come in with their kids. Like, come on. He said, I'm grown. They like me. Right? And I'm like, all right, I hear you. So a girl would be like, oh, you cute. And he'd flirt with him. But he would tell him from the very beginning, you don't want to mess with a guy like me. I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. And I promise you I'm going to mess your credit up.
And he would tell him this.
And you know what? The girls would have the same response that you did. They would laugh. And 2 months later, they come in. Doug ain't this, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, Tyrik, where's he at? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, he took the car last night. I'm like, he told you
this.
He was gonna I didn't believe him. You set me up. I didn't set you up.
No.
You know. That would happen all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Doug, man.
Yeah, shout out to Doug. one of his girls, for real, she ran her van into the building.
Oh, like your shop?
Yeah. She tried to kill him. He was outside. She saw him. Ran up, hit the building. He ran, got out of Dodge, and she ran the van into the building. We still got the little chip of the bricks. Yeah, it's gone. I should put it like in a plaque and be like, this was Doug's death brick or something.
Flag it out with
But I had a cousin who worked for me, Will, and it was his first week at the shop. He was transitioning from another shop. And my shop's really diverse. And so communication is important when you're cutting with people with diversity.
Yep.
And so it was a little white kid, soccer mom, her 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. This is a really cool story the whole ways around. So she comes in. She says, hey, I sit down, like, how you doing? She says, great. They're cutting them. They're getting ready to set them up. I'm listening to the one guy have this awesome communication with the kid, what he wanted. He has an idea. It took about 5 minutes trying to figure out what he wanted. Will was like, and I'm listening to
number
him.
26.
Yeah, I'm listening to him talk to her, right? Talk to the little boy, and I'm talking to the mom. I said, give me 1 second. I said, are you sure you know what he wants? I said, I have a picture book here. Why don't you, show him the book and see if that's... He goes, no, I got this. I got the roadmap. He gave me the GPS. I got this. I said, okay, we'll see.
Okay.
So I finished talking to the mom. She says, we've heard about this place. Great reviews. And this is before like Yelp, Google reviews. She's like, great reviews. All the kids at school are talking about this place. So I wanted to bring my kids. It's in the city, so I wasn't sure. But man, it's awesome in here. This is great. The ambiance is good. And we're just having a conversation. He turns the kid around. The kid wanted 2 inches off. He gave him a number. I know he went 1 inch off. He gave him number 1 all the way around.
Oh.
So when the kid looked in the chair, he turned red. He started tearing up in his eyes, and the mom was like, "It looks okay, right?
It looks okay. That means it doesn't look good."
He wasn't paying attention. So
Yeah.
it was embarrassing. But here's an interesting thing. About 8 years later, I'm at an event. It was a golf outing, and I'm there. I'm talking to people. I'm networking with different business people there. And there's a lady sitting there, and she's like, "So what do you do?" And I said, "I'm a barber." She goes, "Really?" She said, "Oh my God, I used to go to this amazing barber shop when my boys were young." Funny story. My son goes in and he cut this boy's hair all the way down, and my son was crying. But what happened was he went to school, and the whole entire soccer team said, "Oh, he got his hair cut. We're all going to get buzzed." And so they all came, right? And she goes, "I wonder what that guy's doing now." And I was like, "What shop was it?" She was like, "Oh, it's Chopperz Barbershop." And I was like, "Yeah, which one?" And I'm not saying anything. And she's like,
"But you recognized her?"
I didn't recognize her.
Okay.
She didn't recognize me either.
Okay.
So she was just saying, yeah, she says, there was this guy in there. What was his name? And I was like, Tyrik. And she goes, no, that's not his name. I said, was it Joel? She said, Joel. That's him. Joel's my middle name. So everybody in the barbershop called me Joel.
Joel.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And I said, so now I'm probing. I'm like, so how did you like? She said, I really enjoyed the experience in there. She said, and it was cool because it was an inner city shop. My kids wanted to come in the inner city, but we didn't know what to expect. And when we got there, it was nothing like the newspapers made it seem being in the city. And it was a stigma around being in the city. And so she loved it. They came all the time. But I never knew what happened after she left. She told me that story then.
Yep.
And so I said, I'm Joel. She goes, no, you're not. I said, yeah, I'm Joel. I said, I'm bald headed now and I got a beard. I said, so I pulled up my phone and I pulled up some pictures and I showed her. She was like, oh my God, that is totally you. Oh my God. And so that was a
That's
good
crazy
story.
how 8 years later it connected again,
Yeah.
And it's crazy how the kid ended up going to school and
what he was afraid of became popular.
A similar story happened to me like that. Not to me, but to like a client.
Oh, he cut somebody's hair off.
No, I didn't. Like the kid was scared to cut it, and I was like, "Trust me, listen." And then he was like, his parents made me cut it low,
Right.
And he was like, "This is stupid. This is stupid." Next thing you know, 30 kids from that town started coming in. The kid loved the haircut and kept the haircut ever since.
Wow.
Like he's like, I got girls now. They touch my hair because it was like a skin type made, and he never had his skin,
Right.
and they'll rub him, and he loved it, and he was
We're
like,
changing lives, man,
You
every
know,
day when they
so-
sit in our chair. That's why it's important with the stuff that I'm putting out on Tuesday, that barbers, if they're really listening and they're really understanding how to be a professional or how to change the way they think, how they view their customer or their clientele or their guests. Those are 3 different people. A customer, a clientele, and a guest. They're 3 different people. You would treat a guest in your house different than you would treat a customer. Right?
right?
Yeah. So there are 3 different types of people. And if you begin to shift how you're thinking, what happens is you become more impactful in your shop and in your community. So I'm hoping that the stuff that I'm putting out ends up helping businesses more than anything. So,
Yeah, definitely. We're big in the
Thank you,
community
I appreciate
too.
it.
We do a
We're
lot.
gonna see you do more of those print sacks. I want to see more of it.
I don't know.
That was an impact on me. Man. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
So-
Like, just putting that whole thing together, I was like, that's gotta be so.
So I don't.
Are you retired
When
from
I
it?
won the $25,000 battle, I didn't want to compete. I wanted to teach. So 2 things. I turned down the competition several times before I actually did it because I didn't want to compete. She promised me I would be able to educate, so then I did the competition. So that's how that started. Prince is not because I wanted to be Prince. Prince was because when I went to the shows back in 2004 and 5, everybody looked like a thug. Fitted hat, long white tees,
baggy,
uptowns, right?
Tees,
You remember the era, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to go in and show them that you have to be a professional. So I had my hair styled, I wore a suit, I had a dress outfit all the time. Now I dress casual, cool. Sometimes you'll see me in sweats or jeans or whatever. I can do that now. It's trendy now. But back then it was not. And you look like a thug or a professional. There's no in between, right? And if you look like, if you was in between, then you was probably gay. You know what I mean? So it was no in between. So I had this professional image. I got my suit on. I was at the shows, and everyone kept saying,
"Were you frowned upon when you wore the suit?"
No, I didn't care.
No, okay.
No, I never really cared.
Because back then, like if you wore a suit, like when Jay-Z wore a suit, we were all like, Jay-Z wore a suit.
Yeah, I never really cared. Like I had a strong sense of self-awareness when I was a kid, and I was a skateboarder. I was Puerto Rican. I got a black name. It was hard to fit in anywhere. You know what I mean?
You did you. You did you.
Yeah, full Puerto Rican. I got black name, right?
What part of Puerto Rico?
My family's from Bayamón and Ponce.
Ponce.
Blaga.
Blaga.
Us Puerto Ricans, we are a mix of Taino, African,
Absolutely.
and Spanish.
Absolutely.
Just to get it out there, man, and let it be known that in Puerto Rico, if you go to Puerto Rico, a lot of people tell me this.
Yeah.
They think that we're all light skinned somehow.
Yeah. No.
We're not.
No, there's black is black, there's
Black
light is light.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's all
My
types of
wife
shades.
is Puerto Rican and
So-
she looks white.
I didn't fit in anywhere. With me being a skateboarder back then, that wasn't cool. Right? Me being
Yeah,
Puerto
definitely.
Rican
Yeah.
with a black name, I didn't fit in. I didn't speak Spanish, so I didn't connect with the Latino community. And then I grew up in a black home, but I looked Puerto Rican, and so all my cousins and family was black. So it was just I learned how to understand who I was at an early age. So if I wanted to wear high water pants or a blazer or style my hair in a certain way, I didn't care what people
You
thought.
did it.
Right, I just did it because it's what I wanted to do. So I had a strong sense of self-awareness then. So when people were saying, he looks like Prince, you know, I would hear people, I walk by and like, yo, look at Prince, yo, check out Prince. You know, I would hear it. I act like I didn't pay no mind to it. So then I used that as a catalyst to introduce my show and
Why
introduce
not?
myself
Yeah.
to the world. I came out as Prince. The midget was like, you're not Prince, you're Tyrik.
Sweet.
Show them who Tyrik is. And so that was the thing. I wanted to let people know. And so guess what? People stopped calling me Prince.
Did you expect all this, your life to be like this?
No,
How do you handle it?
what part?
Like,
That's a general, broad question.
okay, so, of course you said you wanted to teach. You wanted to teach and you're teaching.
Right.
But you're really like all over the place, like CT Barber Expo, New York, or here, and you're a teacher. Like, how do you enjoy being your regular self, like outside of work, and still being able to educate and do your life is crazy. It's crazy to me, and I just watch you. I'm like, how do you do this?
I
Like,
have a lot of people ask me, how do you
How?
do what you
How?
do?
Like, how?
So
I
you
kn-
gotta have systems. You gotta have systems. We're artists. We're creative. So most of us don't work in the creative brain. We're in the art brain. We're on the art side. We're in the creative brain. We're not the organized brain, rather. You know, so that's why you got a woman. Pay the bills, mom. Because I don't want to be focused on that stuff. Oh, my wife does that.
That's what I do. Here, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So
here.
I had to share that because most people are probably like that. What I had purpose to do. Now, organization is not my strongest thing, but I prioritize being organized, creating systems so that way I can free myself up and they can run themselves.
Okay.
Okay. So my shops. I haven't been full time in my shops since 2008 because my systems are working in my shops.
You have people there
Absolutely.
doing what you would be doing.
Absolutely.
So
2 years ago, I had a conversation about me traveling more because I used to do this before. From 2006 to 2008, that's all I did was travel and teach because I didn't have a school. So I cut hair all week, and then every weekend I was at a show teaching. We didn't have social media. So I was
now
out
it's
marketing,
social media.
networking, and then going to the next show. So I was paying my own money to travel and fly and do all that stuff. Social media opened up the door for visibility. What I'm doing is only showing people what I already have been doing all this time.
Now it's just getting recorded and
Right.
put out there and
that's
shared.
It. That's it.
So-
So 2 years ago, my partner at the school was like, I know you enjoy speaking. We got to get you out speaking a little bit more. And I said, that doesn't happen until we have other instructors that can run the program the way it needs to be run. When I'm not there, does it change a little bit? Is the energy a little bit different? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
However, the system's in place, and guess what? The place runs the way it needs to run. Everything's happening the way it needs to happen, so it doesn't matter. And so now that I have people in place, I can walk away from my school and go to a show or go to an event and focus on what needs to happen for that weekend and know in confidence that my instructors are doing what they have to do. There's a curriculum that needs to be put out. There's certain things that needs to happen that week. And so those systems help.
Family's important, man.
Communication is important.
Yep.
I need to have a strong communication with my family so they know I'm traveling, I'm working. These are the weeks that I'm going to be home with you, and this is what we're going to be doing.
Yep.
Right. So that way they don't bother me when I'm traveling on the road. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But it's creating systems. That's what. And you know what? Most barbers are liars. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to say that because I'm going to tell you what I mean.
Yeah.
You'll be like, babe, I'll be home, and like, it's my last one. I'll be done in like 15 minutes.
I'm guilty.
You're a liar.
I'm guilty.
And then your man comes in like, yo, you got me? And you're like, yeah, I got you, because you wanna get that extra money, because the kids want to get back to school's coming or whatever. So you end up cutting. And you lied to your wife, you lied to your lady that she was going to be home, and you didn't make it home on time. You was a liar. Okay?
Definitely.
You're not trying to be a liar.
I'm not.
Okay, it just happens. Because you love doing what you do, you like being at work, you don't want to be nagging kids, but you told your wife you was going to be there. So you have to mean what you say and say what you mean with your family. Because then when you say, we're going away this weekend, or we're going to the movies on Wednesday, that expectation, they can believe
You have to be confident knowing that they're going.
Babe, I'm taking off on Mondays, every Monday at 5 o'clock, no matter what. We're going to go on a date. We're going to get our nails and toes done. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to get my gaiters taken care of while you get all prettied up. I'm going to get the massage. And you just sit there. She might be having a regular conversation with me, Ling, or whoever's doing her nails, but she's there with you. And it's a dating moment. And then you prioritize that time. Maybe your Power's getting ready to drop. Right? Power about to come. Me and my wife, we watch Power. So Power might be the thing. Like, I'm coming home, we're going to watch Power, and she's not allowed to watch it when I'm not home and vice versa. So we begin to create that.
Yep.
And so that's all communication though. And so when you learn to communicate effectively, right, and learn her love language, that's communicating effectively.
Definitely.
You begin to speak to the way she listens. That was deep right there.
That was deep. You begin to speak the way she listens.
Because it's her language.
Can we put that on a t-shirt? Tyrik Jackson.
So you have to learn her love language. Your children have a different love language. I got one daughter, she wants you to say great job all the time when she does something. She wants acknowledgement. I got another one, she could care less.
My daughter's the same way.
She could care less, right? Yep. But she wants a hug. She wants you to squeeze her really, really tight. When you squeeze her really, really tight, she feels loved. So I have to communicate with her in the way that she
wants to be communicated with. Yep.
Because if I say to her, you did a good job.
You can't treat them both the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, one's going to take it,
exactly,
and then the other one's...
So having effective communication is important, okay?
Definitely.
And being honest with what you're saying. I'm leaving the shop at 7. Leave at 7.
You know what? I say that to my wife all the time. I do. I'm guilty. And you know what? I suck at it. I'll be like 7 o'clock. She'll be like, all right, I'll see you at 8:30. That's her response to me. And you know what? I'm like, shit. But it's the truth. It's just like, I'm home. My barbershop's my home. And I hate to do it to my wife, but it's, like you said, when somebody walks in, it's in me to like, it's hard to be like, and then when I say no to them, or nothing, now I'm acting different. I'm like, you gotta separate. My wife's in Lake George right now.
Yes.
Definitely, they are. I get, I do. I get abused, man.
Abuse you because that's the expectation. Once you teach your customer, your client, or your guest, however you choose to call them or how you treat them, they begin to respect that you also have a family and a life.
Well, I put that on my post. They're like,
no, because
listen, I got a family.
But you're not living what you're supposed to be. Did y'all get that? What you
supposed to be. I I'm not living what I post.
So you're saying I got a family, you're posting it, but when you take that client in, you're not actually living what you just posted.
Yep.
Come on, man.
You gotta lay the law down to your clients. You know?
It is. I'll be like, listen, man, please
It gets
respect.
better. It gets better, but you got to put your foot down.
You know, it's
Sometimes,
just.
it's like I say, sometimes if the client doesn't understand, the clients also can get fired.
Absolutely.
And you don't need that because from that client, you're going to gain a better client.
Absolutely.
That's going to understand what, you know, that barbershops, they're a business too. You know, a lot of barbershops, especially in the 90s era, early 2000s, I'm originally from the Bronx, so a lot of barbershops, tend to become a hangout. So they take us as a joke.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like they think it's just a hangout, not a real business. So now that in this era, we have social media, we're able to have people like you, people like us, people like Mark, other barbers that are in the industry as well who share their knowledge and make it look like a profession. Not a trade, but a profession.
Right.
We do go to school to get
Our license.
just like a lawyer does, just like a doctor does, a dentist does, and all that. And people need to start respecting us as a business. As long as you're a barber owner that handles your business as is.
We came a long way, man. Barbers came a long way.
Yeah.
And we have we have further to go.
Yeah, we do. But
so I hope that the information that gets out is helping the industry.
as long as we have people like you guiding us and helping us, like you make me listen, man.
Not,
You know what I'm
not
saying?
just
Like,
him, but a community of us.
yeah. He makes us.
But you
So
guys
he
are
helps.
putting it out. You're putting it out on your podcast.
Yep.
You're putting it out on your live YouTube. You know, more people need to see it. The repost pages aren't doing that. Your community has to share it.
Sure.
So that your fans, the people who are following what you're doing, I get more reposts and shares
From outside your community?
From us, like you that was like, yo, today's live was dope, and you share it. It's important that you do that. If you think what I'm doing is important, it's important that you screenshot something from my live or screen record and put it in your stories and say, you got to follow Tyrik. Not because Tyrik wants a bunch of followers, but because you think that the information I'm putting out is helping our
has
industry.
to be heard.
It needs to be heard. Because the repost pages aren't doing it. They want likes and follows and then they want money to do whatever. I'm not asking for no money. I'm not asking for tons of followers. I just want people to be honest. I want people to get information that's going to be beneficial and helpful for them. That's it.
Yeah, I'll see the DM. It'll be like, hey, we want to repost you. And I'll be like, oh, all right. But then I'll read all the way to the bottom. They'll say, yeah, send me $50 and I'll repost you. And I'm like, all right. You know, like.
Not even that, but just like there are popular pages out there. They don't post. They say, oh, I'm about the culture, I'm about the culture, I'm about the culture.
They're really not.
And they're not.
They're not.
They're
About,
transactional.
Yes, they are.
They're not about the culture. They're about, in the beginning they may have been. In the beginning, and it's all
But along the way, they lost.
They lost something, okay? You know, they lost something. I'll use Barbershop Connect as an example because they're the largest one, okay? They're the largest one. I think Sharp Fade at one point was doing it better than anybody was, okay? But Barbershop Connect, let's take it. Lee and Eric. Eric was a barber. He understood barber culture. Lee is not. Okay? Eric's no longer a part of Barbershop Connect. Okay? It's just Lee. Right. But Eric appreciated information like this. So he would put some of this stuff out. Lee's like, no, we put him up. That's promoting him. And so we ain't getting paid off of that. So no, we're not going to do that. It was interesting. He gave me an award for Educator of the Year on live Instagram. Right?
oh, congrats on your award, man. Congrats on your award at the CT Barber Expo, man.
So when Lee gave me that award, you would think, hey, I'm going to give you this award for being best Instagram live, right? And I'm going to start posting some of your live content on my page so that if you want to be the next Instagram live, you got a measuring stick and it's like, I'm going to work hard so I can get that. You know what I'm saying? And that's stopped. He never posted anything after that. It didn't make sense and it didn't line up with the message.
Hey, Tyrik, I hear the music, man. I know you're a busy guy. I heard them call you. I'm not sure if you got to leave. But now that we're screaming on here, man, before anything happens, And you can't hear us. Thank you.
Thank
anyway.
you so much, man.
You don't have to leave, but if you do, you do. But
I will ask you guys a question real quick. Tell me your favorite live. The one that hit the most. And you, think about which ones was your favorite.
My favorite live? Can I go on my DM? Because I have it.
Yeah, you can. I just want to know, like, what off the top, which one was
Mine is actually, I have a few.
Whoa.
You helped me out a lot with financial.
Okay.
And actually, I think Deshaun is his name, and he was on the camera that day.
Okay.
On the camera. And you were talking about the
Finance. I had a red suit on that day, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
That was one of my favorites because that helped me out.
Okay.
I'm
That was early on, too.
I'm not scared to say it. I'm one of the barbers.
That was almost 2 years ago.
I'm still working, I'm still working on my credit.
Yeah, keep it up.
You know what? My credit now, I see it going up more and more. Slowly by slowly, I know it's getting. So I'm like,
Keep working at it, bro. But I would say to hire somebody to help you with that, even if it's temporarily.
I'm gonna do it. My girlfriend, her bank does a thing that they help you with your credit.
Check out Credit Card also. He's solid.
Okay, cool.
He's solid. I like what he's doing. He understands our culture as barbers because he used to help barbers get into buying homes. So he understands.
Listen, I think it was back in April. You were walking into the shop. It was like the first sunny day outside of the code. You let the kids were outside waiting. You opened up. I don't remember which episode it was, but he had sent it to me, and that was like the first one. Like I really like watched the whole thing.
It's all good. I'm always interested in what's your favorite live.
So yeah, he's always sending it to me live. So we play it in the shop as we cut hair. But that one was man, there's so many.
You was watching the one other night.
I watched the other night. You know, I watched the other night. I can't even tell you what you guys were really talking about.
The repost one.
But I forgot who you. It was late night. Like somebody at the bottom. I forgot who it was.
Barber since 9
He had the red shirt on. But you were talking about how you were like how you go to the shows. It was the whole thing. I still can't tell you why because I watched so many things. But that one I came in. I know. But I came into work next day and I said everything you were saying. I was like, yo, last night I watched Tyrik and he brought up this. And this was 7 a.m. in the morning. And I was feeling some kind of way because I'm like, yo, we talked about that. Yeah. And you hit home on what you were talking about that day. So it was just like on how you said like these guys, we look up to them, but then when we like meet them, it's like, hey, nice to meet you real quick. And they're out. And I was like, man, that's true because that's what happens to us all the time. We speak to Marvy Marv like we get to speak to Marvy Marv. Right. He doesn't treat people that way.
We have conversations with
Marv. Yeah, all day long. You know what's crazy? I'll DM people, but I might not be following them. But I feel like I am because we're always talking all the time. Because I'm not paying attention to that. And some people are like, damn, bro, you ain't even following me back. And I'm like, my bad. We've been talking for 3 months. Like I'm not even paying attention. You're getting more value in the DM than the one little follow button.
You get that a lot though?
Yeah, I have had people ask me that, you know, and I'm like, I'm not worried about the follower count. I'd rather have the relationship and the conversation that we're having, you know. So I know it's getting loud. Guys, thank you so much for
thank you, man.
Having me
now
on
I feel
the
like
show.
anytime I see you, I can approach you now.
Absolutely.
You know, and not worry about, man, I don't want to get the hey, how you doing, walk away. You know, like, thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
you so
much.
much.
It's a blessing.
What's that? You got to keep having them. And listen, if you're not following and you're just following on this YouTube and you want to check out, I am on YouTube. And it's Tyrik Jackson, but on Instagram it's I am Tyrik Jackson. IAMTYRIKJACKSON. Every Tuesday morning, 9:30 a.m. I go live Eastern time with I do Q&A. I put videos up. I have a good conversation about. It's all business, but you don't have to be a barber. If you got a cousin who has a business, it doesn't matter. We want them to join the live and check us out. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Thank you, man. We'll be back.